Beginner, but still Ashtanga. Still Ashtanga though. So beginner Ashtanga doesn't mean necessarily easy yoga. Okay. So you're going to come to the front of your mats and bring your big toes together. And then you're going to lift all the toes from the floor, bring the big toe down and forward, and then try to spread all the other toes onto the floor evenly. Lean forward a little bit so you feel the heels just slightly lift off the floor, and then sit back on the heels. See if you can lengthen yourself right through the crown of the head so you feel like you're standing nice and tall. We're going to do this breathing called Ujjayi breath, where we can hear the sound of the breath as we're breathing in and out through the nose. So in yoga, we always breathe through the nose, trying never to breathe through the mouth. And so you can start by, you're going to open your eyes and look at me, and you're going to breathe like this through the mouth. Inhale, same way, making that soft sound. Now you're going to keep that same sound, but you're going to try to press the breath going through the nose. Going to bring the hands in front of the chest. And close the eyes. Relax your shoulders. Just let the elbows relax towards the floor, even though you're pressing the hands together. Relaxing the facial muscles. And see if you can continue this sound with the breath, using this sound to keep your awareness on the breath. So you can hear the inhales and the exhales during the entire practice. Now we're going to chant a mantra. We call it the opening mantra. I'm going to chant a line, and then you're going to try to follow along. The general meaning of this mantra is to give thanks to the lineage of the practice before us, to give thanks for the practice in general, and all the teachers that come before us. You can either try to repeat or just remain silent. Vande Gurunam Charanaravindaye. Vande Gurunam Charanaravindaye. Sandarachita Swatma Sukhavabodhe. Sandarachita Swatma Sukhavabodhe. Nishreyase Jangalikaya Mane. Nishreyase Jangalikaya Mane. Samsara hala hala moha shantye. Samsara hala hala moha shantye. Abau purushakaram. Abahu purushakaram. Shankha chakrasi daharinam. Shankha chakrasi daharinam. Sahasra shirasam shvetam. Sahasra shirasam shvetam. Pranamami Patanjalim. Pranamami Patanjali. Exhale, release the arms to the sides, opening the eyes. We're just going to practice synchronizing our breath with our movements. So you're going to inhale, raise the arms, keep the hands apart. Exhale, release the arms. Just stay looking straight forward. You're going to inhale, raise the arms. Stay looking straight forward or even down. Exhale, releasing the arms to the sides. Inhale, raise the arms, keep the shoulders relaxed, gazing straight down. Exhale, arms to the sides. Okay, so you want to see if you can keep your shoulders relaxed, your facial muscles relaxed as we work through the practice. You're going to inhale, raise the arms, keep the arms apart. Exhale, you're going to bend at the knees, release the hands so they're just a little bit in front of the feet, relax the back of the neck. Everyone should be bending their knees. Then you're going to slide your hands up the shin bones so they're at the top of the shin bones. Press the hands into the shins and the shins into the hands and see if you can straighten the back right through the crown of the head so there's no wrinkles in the back of the neck. Exhale, you're going to put the hands on the floor a little bit in front of you. Spread the fingers, press into the hands. You're going to step one foot back, the other foot back behind you. You're going to bring the shoulders over the wrist. See if you can make a straight line from the heels right through the crown of the head. Put the knees down to the floor. Lean forward. See if you can keep the elbows over the wrist. And you're going to slowly make your way all the way down to the floor. Point the toes out behind you. Press the toes into the floor so you feel all the toes pressing to the floor. And the kneecaps are off the floor. Roll open your shoulders and just lift the chest. Breathe here. Now you're going to turn the toes, knees are on the floor, press into the hands and bring your sitting bones towards the heels. Keeping the toes tucked under. Press the fingertips into the floor. See if you can bring the ears between the upper arms so the forehead is not touching the floor. Trying to engage the arms. Keep pushing the fingers into the floor. And then try to listen to the sound of your breath, coming back into that Ujjayi breath. And then coming up onto your knees, going to press the hands, lift the knees from the floor, step one foot forward, the other foot forward. Toes together, slide the hands up the shin bones, press the shins and the hands towards one another and see if you can get a straight, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, relax the head, relax the hands. Press into the feet. You're going to raise the arms as you lift the chest up so the arms are over the head. Exhale, arms back to the sides of the body. Inhale, once again, raise the arms, keep the neck long, don't look up. Exhale, bend the knees, relaxing forward. Inhale, slide the hands up the shin bones, press the shins and the hands towards one another. See if you can lengthen through the spine. See if you can pull in those muscles in between the hip bones, so the lowest abdominals. Then bend the knees, put the hands on the floor, lean into the hands, and step one foot back behind you, other foot behind you. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. See if you can make a straight line with the body. Then put the knees down to the floor. Lean forward as you come all the way down to the floor, trying to keep the elbows over the wrists. Point the toes out behind you. Try to engage all the leg muscles so the knees are off the floor. Roll open the shoulders, lift the chest. Keep the back of the neck long, face relaxed. Then you're going to turn the toes, knees are on the floor, press the hands, and bring the sitting bones to the heels behind you. Take a look at your hands and see that the hands are shoulder width apart, and the line of the wrist is lined up with the front of your mats. The arms are engaged, so they're not relaxing on the floor. Ears between the upper arms. Breathing here. Feel like you're reaching the sitting bones away from you to make space between each and every vertebrae. And then coming back up onto the knees. Press into your hands, lift the knees, and step the feet back to the front. Toes touching. Inhale, slide the hands up the shin bones, lengthen through the spine, including the neck. Exhale, bend the knees, relaxing forward. Inhale, you're going to press the feet as you're rising up. The arms are lifting, the legs are straightening. And exhale the arms alongside the body. Okay, a third one. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, releasing over your legs. Inhale, hands on the shins, lift the chest, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, place the hands back to the floor, lean your weight into your hands. Step one foot back, other foot back. Come back into that plank position. Try to make a nice straight line. Place the knees on the floor. And this time, see if you can stop yourself halfway down. So the elbows are over the wrists, shoulders in line with the elbows. Point the toes, press into the toes, open the chest here. Turn the toes, press into the hands, and go back into this position that we call puppy pose. Keep pressing the hands firmly into the floor so you feel the arms are engaged. And then either you can stay here or you can lift the buttocks a little bit, lift the knees, keep the knees bent, press into the hands, and try to reach the sitting bones to the back wall. Feel like you're making space between the vertebrae. So the knees are bent, the back is long. If you can keep the back long, you can slowly experiment with straightening the legs or working towards straight. Then you're going to bring your weight forward a little bit into the hands. Look forward, step one foot forward, other foot forward. Inhale, slide the hands up the shin bones, long back, toes together. Exhale as you release, relax the back, relax the neck. Inhale, press into the feet, strong legs as you rise all the way to the first position. Exhale, arms to the sides. Okay, fourth one. Inhale, lifting the arms, synchronizing the breath. Exhale, bend the knees, releasing forward. Inhale, hands on the shins, long back. Exhale, put the hands to the floor. Step one foot back, other foot back, coming into that plank pose. Putting the knees to the floor, either coming all the way down or halfway down. Turn the toes, point the toes, You can either stay here in kind of a cobra pose, or if it's okay on the back, there's no pain in the back, press into the hands, but you need to have the legs off the floor. And then put the knees down, tuck the toes, and you have the choice. You can either come into puppy pose or directly into downward facing dog. You can keep the knees bent if that's what's needed to be able to straighten the back. If we have the choice to straighten the back or straighten the legs, the priority is the back. First priority is the quality of our spine. And then if you can straighten the arms and still keep the spine straight, then you can go ahead and straighten the legs. Bend the knees, gaze forward, and step one foot forward, other foot forward. Inhale, hands on the shins, open the chest. Exhale, releasing over the legs. Inhale, press the feet, coming all the way up, trying to keep the lower abdominals engaged. Exhale, arms to the sides. Last one, fifth one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding over the legs. Relax the neck. Inhale, hands up the shins, long spine. And this time you're going to place the hands a little bit further forward. And then experiment with putting your weight into your hands. So you need to lean into the hands and at the same time press the hands into the floor and feel the abdominals fully engaging. And then if you feel comfortable, you're going to see if you can hop both feet back at the same time. Coming into plank pose. So straightening through the spine, let the knees come to the floor, and either the chest all the way to the floor or halfway down. Point the toes, engage the legs, and either cobra or upward facing dog with the arms straight, looking forward. Knees to the floor, press the hands, tuck the toes, downward dog or puppy pose. Breathing deeply here. Press the fingertips firm into the floor. Reach the sitting bones to the wall behind you. Now you're going to lean forward into the hands. Bend your knees and try to round your back like it's reaching towards the ceiling. And then you're going to lean back a little bit like you're going to take a hop forward. So you lean back, use the momentum, press the hands and hop your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, releasing over the legs. Inhale, lifting all the way up, smooth movements. Exhale, back to the original position. Okay, we're going to add some things. That was Sun Salutation A. Now we're going to add some things to make it into Sun Salutation B. You're going to lift your toes from the floor, bend your knees just so you can see the very tips of your big toes. Bring your hands over the knees and then slide the skin up towards the lower abdominals. And then press into the lower abdominals. You need to keep this area really firm. Then you're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. Bring the elbows so that they're shoulder width apart. And then you're going to lift the elbows towards the ceiling. Then you're going to straighten the arms parallel with the floor. And so either you can keep the arms here or you start to work them up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, releasing over the legs. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, long spine. Exhale, press the hands forward into the floor and your choice, either hop or step the feet back into plank pose. Straighten through the spine, let the knees come to the floor, leaning forward either to the floor or halfway down. Point the toes, roll open the shoulders, cobra or upward dog. Put the knees down, turn the toes, and downward facing dog. Now you're going to lift the heels from the floor, so you're on the tops of the toes. Press into the hands, and you're going to step your right foot towards your right thumb. So it doesn't pass the thumb. And then you're going to let your left knee come down to the floor, and you're going to lift your torso up. You're going to take your right hand on your right thigh, slide the skin back until your hand is in the hip crease. And then press your hand into that hip crease to try to drop your right sitting bone. Bring your left hand along your left thigh, and once again, lift the skin. Connect the skin all the way up to the lower abdominals. So you feel their lower abdominals are working. And then bring the arms out in front of you, parallel with the floor. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, you're going to put the hands down on the floor where they were, and you're just going to switch the feet. So the left foot comes to the left thumb, the right knee comes back. Coming up again. Slide the skin on that left thigh back, and then take the hand on the hip crease and try to press it down so you feel your left sitting bone dropping towards the floor. Right hand on the right thigh, lift the skin, connect that skin from the hip bone all the way up to the lower ribs so that this area of the body feels strong. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, put the hands back on the floor where they were. Lean forward into the hands, straighten the back leg, and bring the left foot back. So now you're in plank pose. Lean forward, let the knees come to the floor, either all the way down or halfway down. Point the toes, strong legs, and open your chest. Put the knees down, turn the toes, lift from the sitting bones, and coming into downward dog, or if you're feeling a little bit tired, you can put the knees and come back into puppy pose. See if you can tune into the sound of your breath. Notice if the breathing is smooth and even. If you feel like the breathing is strenuous, then it's better to put the knees on the floor, come into puppy, and breathe more deeply. At the end of the fifth exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and either stepping or hopping back to the front of your mats. Hands on the shins, open the chest, long back. Exhale, releasing over the legs. This time you're going to keep the knees bent, like you're sitting in a chair, and then raise the arms, just like when we started. And exhale back to starting pose, Samasthiti. Raise the toes from the floor, bend at the knees, bring the arms parallel with the floor. Inhale, start to lift up. Exhale, relaxing over the legs, release the toes. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, get a long spine. Exhale, put the hands to the floor and either stepping or lightly hopping back for plank pose. Place the knees to the floor, lowering all the way down or halfway down, and then changing to upward facing dog, opening the chest. Put the knees back down, turn the toes, lift the buttocks, downward facing dog. This time you're going to imagine you have a line dividing your mat vertically, and you're going to lift your heels way off the floor and step your right foot on the outside of that vertical line. Turn your left heel so it's also on the outside of that vertical line. Straighten the legs as you lift your torso all the way up. So if you look down at your feet, the feet are not crossing. They're a tiny bit staggered. Each foot is on either side of that vertical line on your mat. Now you're going to take your left hand on the thigh behind you, and you're going to see if you can rotate that thigh forward. so that you're ideally both hip bones facing the front of your mat. Then you're going to take your little finger on the hip bone, thumbs on the low ribs, and then all the fingers towards the navel, and see if you can firm this area in. Keeping that firm, you're going to start to bend your right knee. Keep the front area firm. Bring the arms parallel with the floor. Inhale, start to raise the arms up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the neck relaxed. Exhale, you're going to put the hands back to the floor where they were. Straighten the back foot. Lean into the hands and bring your right foot back. Plank pose. Put the knees on the floor, lean forward. It's called Chaturanga Dandasana. Point the toes, open the chest. It's called Upward Facing Dog. Put the knees back down and down to Downward Facing Dog. Imagine you have that vertical line on your mat. Lift the heels away from the floor, coming high on the toes. Step your left foot to the thumb, not crossing that vertical line. Turn your right heel on the floor at an angle, trying not to step it forward. And then if possible, coming up with both legs straight. Bring your right hand to the thigh behind you. See if you can rotate that femur bone, the thigh bone in the socket, in the hip socket, so both hip bones are straight forward. Little finger on the hips, thumb on the low ribs, and bring all the fingers towards the navel. Pulling this in, keeping this pulled in as you start to bend your front knee over the heel. Bring the arms parallel with the floor. Inhale, start to raise the arms up. Exhale, putting the hands back on the floor, straighten the back foot, lean forward, step the foot back. Plank pose. Knees to the floor, lean forward. If you're getting tired, just come all the way down to the floor. Point the toes, strong legs, roll open the shoulders, either cobra or straightening the arms for upward facing dog. Knees down, tuck the toes, press firm into the hands, and downward facing dog. Tuning in with the breath, listening to the inhales, listening to the exhales. We stay 5 full breaths here. Bend the knees, try to round the back, press into the hands, and if you can, you try to hop both feet together forward. Inhale, long back. Exhale, relax the head, bending the knees, keeping the knees bent, keeping them touching, and inhale, lift the arms. It's called Utkatasana, means fierce pose. Exhale, Samasthiti. Okay, we'll do one more like this, moving a little more smoothly with the breath. Bend the knees, inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs, neck relaxed. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs, open the chest. Exhale, both hands to the floor, either stepping or hopping back for plank pose. Let the knees come down, all the way down or halfway down for chaturanga. Point the toes, open the chest, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, put the knees down, turn the toes, downward dog. Lift high onto the toes, heels off the floor. Step your right foot to the right thumb. Turn the back heel on the floor at an angle. Come up, both legs straight for the moment. Try to align the hips forward. Bend your front knee over the heel. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, both hands back to the floor, straighten the back foot, and step the foot back. Plank pose. Lower down for chaturanga. Inhale for upward dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. Lift the heels.
Step your left foot to the left thumb. Turn the back heel on the floor, coming up with both legs straight. Find the core, square the hips, bend that front knee. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, both hands to the floor, lean into the hands, step the foot back, and lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, point the toes, open the chest, strong legs, upward facing dog. Knees down, toes tucked under, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. And 5, bend the knees, gaze forward, press into the hands, and either step or hop forward. Inhale, long back. Exhale, releasing over the legs. Keeping the knees bent. Inhale, raise the arms up. And Samasthiti. Place the hands on the hips, and you're going to bend your knees and hop the feet apart, just hip width apart. So look down, the feet should be straight and under your hips. You're going to bring your little finger on the hip bones, thumb on the low ribs, all the fingers towards the navel. So you're going to bend from the top of the thigh, so from this place here, not from the waist. So you're going to start to exhale, bend forward, but make sure you don't bend anywhere where the hands are. And as soon as you need to, you're going to bend the knees and try to put the chest on the thighs. And then you're going to bring the arms either around the legs or holding the elbows or holding the wrists. Relax the entire back body. Relax the neck. Just let the head, the weight of the head hang down. Everyone's legs should be completely bent. Even if you're quite flexible, the legs need to be bent. We're trying to relax the back. Then, see if you can get your toes with the first 2 fingers and the thumb. Widen the elbows out to the sides, trying to broaden through the collarbones and broaden through the shoulder blades, so broadening the back body as well as the front body. So keeping the knees bent, you're going to straighten the arms and see if you can get longer through the spine. Then either you're going to do the same thing again, or you're going to slide the hands under the feet so that you're stepping on the hands. Inhale, get long through the back, and then exhale, just release the back so that the head drops. All the back muscles are relaxing. And you should not feel a stretch right on the sitting bones, nor right behind the knees. If you feel it stretching there, then you need to bend the knees more. Find a point to gaze at, softening your gaze. Listening to your breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, put the hands back on your hips. Pressing into the feet, you're going to come up with the back long, chest open, and exhale. When you reach the top, bring the feet back together. Okay, so we're going to do Trikonasana. So I want everybody to be facing the same direction. So you're going to step out on your mat and everybody face in that direction. Okay, so step your right or your left foot back, whatever you need, and bring the outside edges of the feet parallel for now. Okay. And then you're going to take a look down at your feet. Bring your left toes in slightly.
and then you're going to turn on your right heel and point it out. So if you're to look at your feet, both heels are in the same line. Then you're going to bring your right hand on the top of the right thigh, so the thumb towards the buttocks, and then you're going to push the top of the right thigh towards the left. So now your torso comes directly over that front leg. Then you're going to let your right fingertips come down towards that leg. Try not to lean into the leg. So you need to use the muscles of the abdominals. Just look straight in front of you and then start to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. So you stay 5 breaths, then we press into the feet. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet parallel again. Check the back foot. Your right foot is angled in slightly. Turn the left foot on the heel so the foot's pointing straight out. Then bring your left hand on the groins, the top of the hip crease. Push that top thigh back until your torso comes a little bit over that front leg. It should be directly over the front leg. Let the fingertips come down and start to raise the right arm up. Just looking to the side, seeing if you can make a nice straight line from the tailbone through the lower back, through the mid and upper back, right through the neck and the crown of the head. Breathing deeply here. Find a point to gaze at and steady the gaze. Press the feet, inhale, come back up, bring the feet parallel, and then you're going to step yourself back to the fronts of your mats in the starting position called Samasthiti. Okay, now we're going to take a wider stance, and same thing, everybody's going to face this direction. So step your right foot back, step your left foot back, and come wide on your mats. So see if you can get a little longer stance than the first position. Feet are parallel. Turn the left toes in, and then point your right foot out. Take a look at that front leg and see if you can have the hip, knee, and second toe all in one line. Slide your hand on the top of that thigh. Press that thigh back so you start to tilt the pelvis over that front leg. Now you're going to bend your front knee, the right knee, so it comes directly over the heel. This time you're going to slide your forearm to the center of that thigh. See if you can lengthen through the spine. The left arm is going down the back leg. Now you're just going to turn the left hand palm up, and then inhale, bring the arm so that it's coming over the ear, like you're making a nice straight line from the back heel to the upper fingertips. Find a point to gaze at. Listen to the sound of your breath. Then pressing hard into the feet, you inhale, come back up. Turn your right toes in so they can angle in slightly. Turn your left heel so that your toes are pointing forward. Once again, verify the heels are on the same line. Bring your left hand to the groins. Press the groins back. The top of the thigh comes back. The chest comes over that front leg. Start to bend the front knee so the knee comes directly over the heel. Slide your forearm to the middle of that front thigh. Press into the forearm to make space between the leg and the chest. Right arm is down the back leg. Feel like you're making a nice line from the tailbone through the crown of the head. And then stretching that right arm over the ear.
Find a point of gaze. See if you can pull in the lower abdominals. Breathing deeply. And then pressing firm into the feet, coming up, bring the outside edges of the feet together, and then stepping or hopping back to the fronts of your mats. Samasthiti. Once again, stepping out to the side. The next position is called Prasrita Padottanasana. So this time you're going to have a look down, and both sides of the feet are on the same level. And then try to bring your heels along the edge of your mat. And just check with your neighbors that you're staggered. So one towards the right, one towards the left, and vice versa. Bring the hands on the hips, so the hip bones, and then bring the fingertips towards one another. Press the fingertips into this area. You want this pulling firmly inwards. And then keep the chest lifted, the sternum lifted. Inhale, and then you're going to exhale, start to tilt forward, trying to tilt only at the upper thighs and not bending at the waist. Then you're going to bring your hands out in front of you. See if you can make a nice long spine through the crown of the head, breathing here, and then start to slide the hands back to whatever point you can go where the legs are straight, the back is long, and the elbows stay over the wrists. Check there's no tension in the back of the neck. Holding it here. Breathing deeply. Relaxing your facial muscles. Check the elbows are directly over the wrists. With the next inhalation, you're going to straighten the arms, lift the chest well away from the floor. Exhale, put the hands on the hips, press into the lower abdominals. Keep them active as you inhale all the way up to standing pose. Exhale fully here. Inhale, open the arms out to the sides. Exhale, put the hands back on the hips. Inhale, keep the chest open, neck long. Exhale, tilting all the way forward. Keeping the hands where they are. Relax the back of the neck. Broaden through the front body. Broaden through the back body. The next inhalation, you press the feet and come all the way up to a standing pose. Exhale fully at the top. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, you're either going to interlace your fingers behind the back or take the elbows. Relax your shoulders. Inhaling in place. Exhale, you're going to start to tilt forward. Keep the hands on the back, whether you're interlacing your fingers or holding your elbows, and relax the neck. If it feels comfortable and you have your fingers interlaced, then you can let the hands fall towards the floor. Try not to force it. Just relax the shoulder muscles, the upper back muscles, and the neck muscles. Trying to do the sound with the breath, so you listen to the inhales and listen to the exhales. And then you're going to press the feet. Inhale, come up, keeping the chest open, neck long. Exhale, hands back on the hips. Inhaling in place. Exhale, tilting halfway over, trying to find the spine parallel with the floor. And then you can either take the ankles or the big toes with the first 2 fingers and the thumb. Keeping the back long, arms straight, inhale. And then if you can, you're going to bend at the elbows, bend at the upper thighs. Relax the crown of the head down towards the floor. Just letting the head be heavy. Breathing, smooth inhales, smooth exhales. Seeing if you can make the sound of the inhale and the exhale the same. The next inhalation, you're going to straighten the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, just place the hands on the hips, staying here. Press the feet. Inhale all the way up to standing. And then bringing the feet together, coming back to Samasthiti, equal standing pose. So now everybody's going to stay where they are, but they're going to step their left foot back at an angle. Then you're going to see if you can turn both the hips so that they're facing the front edges of your mats. Okay, if you take a look down, the feet will be slightly staggered. And if your hips are not facing forward, you might need to step your right foot out a little bit or make the stance a little bit shorter. So do whatever you need to find both hips forward. Then you're going to take your elbows behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. And then bring your awareness to the hips. You're going to start to tilt forward, but try not to shift the hips. You want to keep the sacrum, the lower back, parallel with the floor, and bring the whole spine parallel with the floor. Moving slowly. Once the spine feels parallel, feel like you're lengthening through the crown of the head. Press the feet, strong legs. Then press firm into the feet. Inhale as you come up. And you're going to step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Once again, see if you can swivel so that both hip bones are facing forward. And if you need to, you shift the feet. Take your elbows behind the back. Inhaling in place. Exhale, moving slowly forward, trying to keep the hips level, trying to bring the spine parallel with the floor. Feel like you're lengthening the whole spine, making space between each and every vertebrae. Inhale, coming back up to stand. And exhale, both the feet together, coming to Samasthiti, both feet together. So you're going to try to stand straight. Find the core of your body, feel the neck is long. Find a point to gaze at somewhere down in front of you. And then you're going to start to shift the weight to the left foot. Start to bend your right knee. And then you're going to lift the right knee all the way up and see if you can interlace your fingers in front of the shin bone. Use your arms to pull your knee up a little bit higher. Make sure the standing leg is completely straight. Keep your gazing point somewhere down on the floor in front of you. Breathing here.
Now, keep your left hand on the shin, bring your right hand to the knee, left hand can come onto the hip bone, and then start to open the knee a little bit out towards the side. Just keep a gazing point, keep breathing, try to keep the left leg as straight and strong as possible. Inhale, bring the knee back to center. This time you're going to interlace the fingers under your thigh, roll open the shoulders, and start to straighten out the leg. Point all the toes, straightening the ankle. Keep the ankle straight, but pull the toes back. Bring the hands to the hips, and lower the leg down. So bring both feet back together, trying to find this equal standing pose, Samasthiti. Bring your weight firm into your right foot. Start to soften the weight from the left foot, bending that knee, and then picking up the knee, interlacing the fingers around that shin bone, roll open the shoulders, lift the knee up high. See if you can feel what's happening in your right leg, your straight standing leg. Make sure it stays straight. Now, keep your shin with your right hand. Take your left hand to the knee. Right hand back on the hip again. And start to open your left knee out to the side. See if you can feel both sitting bones are the same level. So the left sitting bone's not lifting up higher than the right sitting bone. And coming back to center, interlace the fingers under the thigh, roll open the shoulders, straighten the leg out, point the toes, straighten the ankle, keep the ankle straight, and see if you can pull the toes back. Check your standing leg is completely straight. Both hands to the hips, and releasing the foot. One more balancing pose. So check both hip bones are forward. And then you're going to open your right thigh from the hip joint, right at the top of the thigh. And then you're going to pick up your right foot and see if you can place it on the upper inner thigh. If it doesn't reach there, you don't want the foot on the knee. So if for some reason it doesn't come up so high, it doesn't matter. You just put the foot on the calf. Check both hip bones are forward. Find a point to gaze at, steady your gaze, and see if you can still breathe deeply. See if you can still make the sound with the breath, Ujjayi breath. And then bringing the knee to the front and lowering the foot to the floor. Doing the same thing with the other side, so verify both hip bones are straight forward. Open the knee from the hip joint. See if you can pick up that foot, placing it on the upper inner thigh or on the calf. Verify once again, both hip bones are forward, feeling like both sitting bones are equal distance from the floor. Try to lengthen the spine through the crown of the head. Low back ribs breathing up towards the ceiling. And then letting the knee come forward, both feet down to the floor. If you weren't at the front of your mats, coming back to the front. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, tilting over the legs, bend the knees, relax the neck. Inhale, slide the hands up the shin bones, open through the chest. Exhale, put the hands on the floor and either stepping the feet back or jumping the feet back for plank pose. Let the knees come to the floor, exhaling all the way down or halfway down. Point the toes, roll open the shoulders, try to open the chest for upward dog.
Put the toes on the floor, knees on the floor, turn the toes, downward facing dog. And then you're going to step yourself halfway down your mat and just come to a sitting position. You're going to cross the ankles. So just coming to any cross-legged position that feels comfortable for you. You're going to take your hands out in front of you. Start to walk your hands forward. Press into your hands so you feel your chest is lifted, but the sitting bones are firm on the floor. Feel like the back of the neck is long. And see if you can tune into that breath we talked about from the beginning called Ujjayi. It means victorious breath. Making a sound with the inhales and a sound with the exhales. Then you're going to press your hands, walk your hands back up. You're going to take the elbows or the wrists behind the back and see if you can make a straight line with your spine, like you're reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Soften the tailbone down towards the floor. Close the eyes. And we're going to see if we can bring our awareness to our sitting bones. So just notice where your sitting bones are on the floor. And see if you notice if you're sitting a little bit forward on them or a little bit backward on them, or there's more weight on one sitting bone than the other. And see if you can bring the weight even in the two sitting bones. And feeling like you're sitting completely centered, so not forward or not back. And then from this point, lengthen out through the crown. In the Ashtanga practice, we do something that's called Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. They're internal locks that lock the energy in the body, which will help create heat in the body. And when we create the heat, we tend to sweat more, which releases toxins from the body. As well, when we keep that area of the body firm, it tends to keep us more steady and stable and safe in the yoga practices. So with the awareness on those two sitting bones, we're also going to bring our awareness to the tailbone and the pubic bone. So these 4 points are what you could call the outer edges of what's called Mula Bandha. We're going to bring those 4 points towards one another. So we have to engage the perineum, the very base of our torso. It's almost like when you have to go to the bathroom, but there's no toilet, and you have to hold it. So keeping this area firm. This will automatically engage the very low abdominals. So ideally, we're trying to keep this part of the body engaged during the entire practice. It's a little bit easier to find while sitting still. So keep that area firm and see if you can still
Keep the breathing smooth and even. Now you're going to release the palms behind you on the floor, still keeping the Mula Bandha, and then lift the chest. Open the chest. You can either stay looking forward, or if it feels quite comfortable on the neck, then you can let the head go back. But if it starts to feel uncomfortable, you just tuck the chin back in. Inhale, lift the head, bring the spine perpendicular with the floor. You're going to bring your thumb and your first fingers together and the other 3 fingers close together like this. And then you're going to bring the top of the hand on the knees, keep the arms straight, lengthen again through the spine, close the eyes. Bring your awareness back to the area of the 2 sitting bones, the pubic bone and the tailbone. See if you can engage the base of the torso. See if you can engage the very low abdominals, all the while breathing deeply and smoothly. And then you're going to release the hands, open the eyes. You're going to bring your knees towards each other, flex the feet, put the heels on the floor, and then try to squeeze yourself. You're going to bring your arms around the legs and squeeze yourself into a little ball. Then you're going to release the arms and then swivel the elbows inwards a little bit. Put the hands between the hips and the feet, so not too far back alongside the body. Press into the hands, lean forward, and just lift the sitting bones. Find a point to gaze at in front of you. And then releasing down, and you're going to come to lie on the back and rest. Well-deserved rest. So separating the feet about the width of your mat. Separating the hands from the body. Letting the palms face towards the ceiling. Now you no longer do the special breathing. Just keep the breathing natural. You're going to scan the body, looking for any tension, trying to release it. Sometimes it's helpful to engage part of the body to relax it. So if you want, you can try lifting the feet from the floor, lifting the legs, squeezing tightly all the leg muscles, and exhale, relax. Lift the arms from the floor, make a fist, squeeze tightly all the muscles of the arms, the muscles of the hands, and exhale, relax them. You can lift the buttocks from the floor, squeeze the buttocks, squeezing the backs of the thighs, the backs of the back. Exhale, release. And then squeeze the muscles of the face, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing the lips together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, release. Open the mouth, Open the eyes, open fully, stretching all the muscles of the face. Exhale, breathe through the mouth and completely relax. And if you need to, you can do a couple more exhales through the mouth. Exhaling fully. And just doing whatever you need to feel completely relaxed. Until you can feel like you can just rest very still and very quiet. And you're going to slowly awaken the body. Just moving the fingers, moving the toes. And one at a time, bringing the knees towards the chest. Stretching the arms over the head. Then rolling to the right side, using the right arm as a pillow. Pressing your left hand into the floor. To use the arms to press yourself up back to a sitting position, trying to keep the eyes closed. You can bring the hands in front of the chest. We're going to chant the closing mantra. The general meaning of this mantra is to send the benefits and good wishes out to all beings everywhere. Swasti prajabhya, swasti prajabhya, paripalayantam, paripalayantam, nyayena margena, nyayena margena, mahim mahisha, mahim mahisha, go brahmanebhya, go brahmanebhya, shubhamastu nityam, Shubhamastu nityam, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being beginners. Loka samasta sukhino bhava.